Anna stood alone in her tall office as the evening lights of the city slowly turned on outside the glass walls. She was the chief executive of a growing company, and people often described her as calm and unbreakable. Tonight her hands were shaking, even though she tried to stay steady. The charity gala was only a few hours away, and every important person in the city would be watching her. The event mattered to her company, and also to the families who depended on the donations raised that night. Anna believed that first impressions shaped trust, and trust shaped futures. The gown hanging beside her desk was chosen with great care weeks ago. It was dark blue and simple yet powerful, just like the image she worked hard to maintain. She reached out and lifted the gown gently, wanting to check it one last time. As the fabric moved, a sudden pull stopped her hand. A sharp sound filled the quiet room, and her heart dropped at once. A long tear ran down the side of the gown, clear and impossible to hide. Anna froze and stared at the damage without blinking. Her mind searched for solutions but found none. The gown was custom-made, and there was no spare. Every tailor she trusted was already closed for the night. The clock on the wall felt louder with every passing second. She slowly sat down in her chair and held the fabric in her lap. Tears formed in her eyes before she could stop them. She had faced losses and pressure before, but this felt different. The gown was not just clothing, it was part of her promise to stand strong in front of everyone. Tonight that promise felt broken. Across the city, in a small apartment, Mark was finishing dinner while his daughter sat at the table. Mark was a single father who balanced work and family with quiet determination. He worked at a community theater where he handled lights, props, and costume fixes. His life was simple but full of responsibility. His daughter Lily was 7 years old and curious about everything. She talked while coloring and asked questions about the world. Mark listened closely because he knew how important that was. Since her mother passed away, he made sure Lily always felt supported and safe. As they ate dinner, the television played softly in the background. A news segment showed clips of the upcoming charity gala. Anna appeared on the screen speaking about hope and community. Lily looked up at the screen and tilted her head. She said the woman looked sad even though she was smiling. Mark glanced at the screen and nodded slowly. He said leaders often carry worries they do not show. Lily returned to her coloring, and the moment passed quietly. After dinner, Mark helped Lily get ready for bed. She brushed her hair while he packed his small repair kit on the counter. The kit held scissors, thread needles, and small tools he used at the theater. Just as Lily finished getting ready, his phone rang. The theater manager spoke quickly and explained there was an urgent request. Someone at the charity gala needed help with a costume issue. The manager said Mark was the only one skilled enough available at such short notice. Mark looked toward Lily, who was sitting on the bed hugging her pillow. He knelt beside her and explained he needed to help someone for a little while. Lily listened and smiled without hesitation. She told him he always helped people, and that made him special. Mark arranged for the neighbor to stay with Lily and promised he would return soon. He grabbed his jacket and the repair kit and headed out. He did not know who he was going to help or what the problem was. He only knew that someone needed him and he could make a difference. At the gala venue, Anna stood in a quiet room away from the crowd. Staff members whispered outside the door, unsure how to help. The music from the main hall floated through the walls, growing louder. Anna wiped her eyes and tried to breathe evenly. A soft knock came at the door. An assistant stepped inside and said someone was here who might be able to help. Anna nodded slowly, not expecting much. Mark entered the room holding his small kit. He introduced himself simply and spoke with calm respect. He did not mention titles or status. He only asked to see the gown. Anna handed it to him with shaking hands. Mark examined the tear carefully, using gentle movements. His eyes focused and his posture remained steady. After a moment he said it could be fixed, though not in the original way. Anna felt a small sense of relief for the first time that night. She watched as Mark opened his kit and took out his scissors. The sound made her nervous, but she stayed silent. Mark worked with patience, cutting and adjusting the fabric carefully. His hands moved with confidence shaped by years of quiet work. Anna noticed how calm he was despite the pressure. It reminded her that strength could be gentle. Outside the room, the guests continued to arrive, unaware of what was happening. Inside the room, time seemed to slow. Two strangers stood together, connected by a torn gown and a shared moment of vulnerability. Anna did not know it yet, but this night would change more than just her appearance. Mark did not know it, either, but his simple skills were about to touch a life far different from his own. As the scissors moved and the fabric transformed, something else quietly began to shift. The gala was waiting, and so was the future. Mark continued working on the gown with careful focus as Anna stood nearby watching every movement. The room was quiet except for the soft sound of fabric shifting under his hands. Anna noticed how confident he looked even in such a tense moment. She realized she was holding her breath and slowly forced herself to relax. Mark explained his idea in simple words so she could understand. He planned to reshape part of the gown so the tear would look intentional. He said sometimes mistakes could become designs if handled with care. Anna listened closely and nodded, trusting him more with every sentence. As Mark worked, Anna found herself speaking without planning to. She shared how much pressure she felt being watched all the time. She said people expected her to be perfect and strong every day. Mark listened quietly without interrupting. He told her he understood pressure in a different way. He spoke about raising his daughter alone and trying not to fail her. He said he learned to solve problems calmly because panic never helped. Anna felt surprised by how comforting his words were. The gown slowly began to change shape under Mark's hands. The tear disappeared as folds and cuts turned it into a new design. Anna stepped closer and saw that the gown now looked unique and bold. She felt hope rise inside her chest. A staff member knocked gently and said the guests were arriving quickly. Anna thanked them and said she would be out soon. Her voice sounded steadier than before. Mark made a few final adjustments and stepped back. He smiled slightly and said it was ready. Anna looked at herself in the mirror and felt tears again, but this time from relief. The gown looked even better than before. She turned to Mark and thanked him sincerely. She said he had saved more than just a dress. Mark shook his head and said he was just doing his job. Anna insisted on thanking him properly, but Mark checked his phone. He said he needed to return home to his daughter soon. Anna noticed his concern and respected it. Before he left, she asked his name again. He said it was Mark and smiled politely. She told him she would never forget what he did that night. Mark left the room, quietly carrying his kit. Anna took one last look in the mirror and straightened her shoulders. She felt ready to face the crowd. When Anna entered the gala hall, conversations paused for a moment. People turned and noticed her presence immediately. The gown caught the light in a striking way. Whispers of admiration spread through the room. Anna walked with confidence, greeting guests and sponsors. She spoke with warmth and clarity during her speech. Her words about hope and resilience felt real because she lived them moments ago. The crowd responded with strong applause. Meanwhile, Mark returned home and thanked the neighbor quietly. Lily ran to him and hugged him tightly. She asked if he helped the person. Mark smiled and said yes, he did. Lily said she was proud of him. Mark felt a deep sense of peace. He tucked her into bed and sat beside her until she fell asleep. Later that night, Anna sat alone again, but this time calm. She thought about the stranger who helped her without asking for anything. She realized how disconnected her world had become from everyday lives. The next morning, Anna asked her assistant to find Mark. She wanted to thank him properly and understand his story. The assistant looked surprised but agreed. Mark went to work as usual at the theater, unaware of what was coming. He fixed lights, helped actors, and repaired costumes. His day felt normal and steady. In a quiet moment, the theater manager approached him. He said someone important was asking for Mark. Mark felt confused but followed him. Anna stood in the lobby of the theater waiting. She wore simple clothes and looked different from the gala night. When she saw Mark, she smiled warmly. She thanked him again and asked to talk. They sat down and spoke like ordinary people. Anna asked about Lily, and Mark shared her stories proudly. Mark asked about Anna's work, and she explained honestly. Anna offered him a reward, but Mark declined. He said helping was enough. Anna respected his choice but had another idea. She asked if he would consider working with her company. She wanted someone who solved problems with calm and care. Mark felt unsure but intrigued. He said he needed time to think. Anna agreed and said there was no pressure. They shook hands as equals. As they parted, Anna felt something shift in her perspective. Mark felt a door quietly opening. Neither of them knew what choice Mark would make. But both knew their lives had already changed. Mark spent the next few days thinking deeply about Anna's offer while continuing his regular routine at the theater. He fixed costumes, adjusted lights, and helped actors prepare for shows. Everything felt the same yet different inside his mind. He kept remembering Anna's calm voice and honest eyes when she spoke about her work. At home, Lily noticed he was quieter than usual. She asked him why he looked like he was counting invisible steps. Mark laughed softly and said he was thinking about a new path. Lily asked if the path was scary. Mark said new paths always felt that way at first. Lily said she liked new things because they helped people grow. Her simple words stayed with Mark long after she went to sleep. He realized how much he wanted to give Lily a future full of choices. Anna, on the other hand, returned to her busy schedule with a different heart. Meetings no longer felt empty. She started asking more questions and listening more closely. She noticed how often small workers were ignored despite holding everything together. During one meeting, she paused and thought about Mark working quietly with scissors. She realized leadership was not about titles but about care. That thought stayed with her throughout the week. She asked her assistant to prepare a role that suited Mark's skills. It was not a high title but an important position managing creative problem-solving. She wanted him to feel respected, not overwhelmed. Mark finally decided to meet Anna again. They chose a small cafe near the theater. The place was simple and quiet. Anna arrived first and waited without checking her phone. When Mark arrived, she stood and greeted him warmly. They talked about work life and Lily. Anna listened carefully and did not interrupt. Mark appreciated that more than anything. Anna explained the role clearly and honestly. She said she needed people who stayed calm during pressure. She said she trusted his judgment. Mark felt both honored and nervous. He asked if the job would allow time for Lily. Anna answered without hesitation and said family came first. She said a strong company respected real lives. Mark felt relief wash over him. He agreed to try the role on a trial basis. Anna smiled genuinely and thanked him. Mark returned home and told Lily the news. She clapped her hands and said she knew good things would come. Mark hugged her tightly, feeling proud and hopeful. The first day at the company felt overwhelming. The building was large and full of movement. Mark felt small at first but stayed calm. Anna introduced him to the team with respect. Some people were unsure about him. They wondered why someone from a theater was there. Mark noticed the looks but did not react. He focused on listening and learning. Soon a small problem arose with a product display. The team argued about deadlines and blame. Mark stepped in quietly and suggested a simple fix. The solution worked quickly. The room fell silent, then relaxed. People started noticing Mark's presence. He did not speak much, but when he did, it mattered. Anna watched proudly from a distance. At home, Lily told her friends that her dad helped important people. Mark reminded her that helping anyone was important. Lily nodded and said she knew. Weeks passed and Mark settled into his role. He balanced work and home with care. Anna continued leading with a softer strength. One evening, Anna invited Mark and Lily to a small company event. Lily wore a simple dress and looked around with wonder. Anna bent down and spoke to her kindly. Lily smiled and said thank you. Mark watched the interaction and felt grateful. He realized this world did not have to be cold. Later that night, Anna stood on the balcony thinking about how much had changed. She felt lighter and more connected. She knew growth came from unexpected places. Mark tucked Lily into bed and thought about the torn gown. He smiled knowing one small moment had led to many changes. Both Anna and Mark understood that life could shift quietly. Sometimes all it took was care, patience, and a pair of scissors. Time moved forward gently, and both lives settled into a new rhythm that felt natural and steady. Mark became a quiet pillar inside the company, solving problems others overlooked. He never raised his voice and never rushed decisions. People slowly learned to trust his calm approach. Anna noticed changes not only in her company but also in herself. She no longer felt the need to prove strength through distance. She walked the halls more often and spoke to people by name. The workplace felt warmer and more connected. Mark continued balancing work and home with careful attention. Every morning he prepared Lily for school and listened to her stories. Every evening he returned home on time just as promised. Lily felt secure and proud of her father. One afternoon Lily brought home a drawing from school. It showed 3 people standing together under bright lights. She explained one was her dad, one was a lady who smiled, and one was herself. Mark smiled and placed the drawing on the wall. Anna prepared for another major event months after the gala. This time she felt calm instead of anxious. She chose a simple outfit without stress. She remembered that confidence came from people, not appearances. At the event, Anna spoke openly about teamwork and quiet strength. She shared a story about how help can come from unexpected places. The audience listened closely, feeling the honesty in her words. After the speech, Anna saw Mark standing near the back. She thanked him publicly without sharing details. The room applauded, and Mark felt his face warm with surprise. Later that evening, Anna sat with Mark and Lily at a small table. Lily talked excitedly about school and dreams. Anna listened with genuine interest. She saw hope reflected in Lily's eyes. Mark realized that Lily now saw many paths ahead of her. He felt grateful for the chance he almost refused. He understood that courage sometimes meant accepting change. The company continued to grow, but not at the cost of people. Anna ensured flexible schedules and fair recognition. Mark helped design systems that supported balance. The workplace became known for kindness as much as success. One evening Mark received a message from a theater friend. They thanked him for always helping and inspiring others. Mark smiled knowing he never left his roots behind. Anna visited the theater one weekend with Lily and Mark. She watched rehearsals and clapped warmly. She saw creativity and effort she once overlooked. Her respect for unseen work deepened. Lily sat between them holding popcorn and smiling. She felt surrounded by care and possibility. She believed good people found each other. As seasons changed, Anna and Mark reflected quietly. Neither sought attention or praise. They valued growth, connection, and purpose. The torn gown became a distant memory. Yet the lesson remained clear. Small acts done with care could reshape futures. Mark taught Lily that helping was a strength. Anna led with humility and trust. Their lives moved forward richer than before. In the end, it was never about the gala or the gown. It was about compassion stepping in at the right moment. And that moment changed everything.